be on your page, right? So I'll be able to share it.
Yep. Hey guys, Courtney Epps here, and I am so super excited to have Jessie Lee with me. And if you do not know Jessie Lee, you will know her in just a few minutes. And she is super crazy. And I'll tell you, when I first met her, I'm like, man, I have to be friends with that girl. Like, she is just super, super amazing. I love her energy. And so this is another episode of What's Your Plan B and why you would be brain dead not to own a home-based business. And so, Jessie, I'm so thankful to have you on here today. And I just want you to share kind of your background and what brought you into the network marketing space.
Awesome. So speaking of sharing, I was sharing the video. So my background, I grew up really poor, a family that I guess didn't know about second incomes. Just kidding. But no, I grew up in poverty in a really small country town in Maryland. And ironically enough, I joined the network marketing direct sales profession 9 years ago just because I needed $300 a month to pay rent. I was living in a basement. So my financial situation really hadn't changed at that point. But the person whose basement I was living in said, you need to pay $300 more in rent. And if you don't have it, then you should think about one of those at-home businesses. And I'm like, like those scams. And so I was definitely not, I just wasn't a fan because I didn't understand, I didn't know anything about passive income, residual income, tax, right? I didn't know any of this stuff. I was just a 20-year-old kid. And then, obviously it's evolved into something much bigger, but now I am number one in my company. I'm definitely one of the number one female network marketers in the world. And it's been crazy. It's been quite a journey. I now live in Texas, Frisco, Texas. In my house, I get to run. We'll talk about it. But I travel the world. I have a huge international team, the fastest growing team in all 5 continents that we're open in. And I don't even know, 27 countries, something like that. We do $7 million a month in sales and growing. And then I'm a dog mom. That's really important that I mention. And yeah, that's about it. Network marketing changed my life. At-home businesses changed my life. And I just think it's one of those things, whether you want to make a couple $100 like I really wanted, or you want to make a couple $1 million, whatever it is for you, or even if your goals change somewhere in there. It's just one of those things where I think there's so many people just don't even know about. And so it's been life-changing.
I love it. And so, a couple $100, I guess that it costs to get started in the company that you're in, right? And
back then, I don't know if I would have ever joined, but somebody said something about, even if it doesn't work out for you, you can write off the kit. And I was like, what are you talking about? And I'm sure you'll talk about that anyway through this, but they told me, like, even if you suck at it, like, your kit's a tax write-off. I'm like, I don't even know what that means, but okay. And so I did start for $310. I put it on a credit card, and the rest is really history.
That's crazy. And so how long, were you working? I'm sure you were working full-time at that point. What did you do before?
Yeah. So I do have degrees. It's not in anything that I ended up working in, but I was working in a pathology lab as a research assistant. So I do have a really nerdy, sciencey, detail-oriented side to me. And that's what I was doing when I got started. This wasn't supposed to be full-time. This was supposed to be, I can't afford rent. Let me make a couple extra $100, and then I'll just shut up, the bill collectors basically. And that was the plan. There was no grand master plan of being the great Jessie Lee. Like, that was not the plan. No, not at all. So, here we are, obviously, which is really cool, but it started out very small. Let me just make a little bit extra money.
And what's so funny is you said you went to college, right?
Yep.
Got some degrees.
Yep.
And you still couldn't afford to pay an extra $300 a month.
Reality. Like, I know who's ever watching this. Like, and the crazy thing is, thank God I wasn't like most Americans. I went to college on a full academic ride. So I have a very much so nerdy tendency to just be, I like education. It's from my Nana. But I wasn't in debt because of college. Thank God. But even still, like, I had 2 degrees, 2 minors, And I had a job in a pathology lab, and everyone was talking about the benefits. Ah! You know, like, you guys, benefits of your full-time job. Don't ever quit your job. And so I was like, oh, I got a 401k. I have health insurance. I've made it. Just like everyone thinks. And then every 2 weeks when I got paid, and I don't know who can relate to this, you can say yes or something below, but every 2 weeks when I would get paid, I went a little more broke. And the more I do this business over 9 years now, I realize that's most people. Most people know where the paycheck goes before the paycheck ever comes. And it's not usually somewhere irresponsible. It's usually, I have a car payment this time. I have an insurance payment this time. I have a house payment this time. I have a food bill this time. I have my kids' hockey, whatever, this time. Like, it wasn't irresponsible spending on my behalf. And I don't think it's irresponsible spending on most people's behalfs either. And that's kind of the scary thing is people, and I'm speaking about America right now, but I think most people in America, they just don't know there are apps. They don't know what to do. So they're paralyzed, and a confused mind does nothing.
Exactly. And, you know, and that's one of the things, honestly, and, you know, me and JC Lee have talked, but she doesn't really know what I do. And I don't really know a whole lot about what JC Lee does but she does her hands a lot like this when she's talking, which I love. And she's very excited all the time. So, you know, one of the things, I'm a tax strategist, so I've been an accountant for 19 years. And what I love to do is free up money for people. And I decided about 2 years ago, only because of some statistics, to change and restructure my entire business. So I went from being a fractional CFO for a handful of companies, and that was kind of the path that I wanted to be on. And August of 2018, I was driving on my way to Tampa, Florida, and I heard some statistics. I was listening to Grant Cardone, and it said that the average household in America makes $60,000 a year. So that's a family of four. Mm-hmm. They're going to pay on average of $14,000 in taxes, leaving them with a take home of $46,000 a year. And what the problem with that is that the cost of living in America is $53,000 a year. And so on average, so that means that as a W-2 employee, you're going in debt $7,000 a year on average to work 40 hours a week, 50 weeks a year, to take 2 weeks paid vacation. And that didn't dawn on me. Like, I knew most of those statistics, but I'd never put those together before. And it stopped me. And I said, you know what? I know what I was put on this earth to do. It was to work alongside speakers, coaches, trainers, and network marketers and free up money, because I knew that I could, but because of my prior experience in network marketing, and I'm not in network marketing at all whatsoever, haven't been in the last 2.5 years, but because of my prior experience in network marketing, and because I was an accountant, I would do tax returns for people and show them where they were before their home-based business or where they would have been without it. And then I would add in all of the deductions from their home-based business. And I was showing people, I did about 900 tax returns at that point, just for people who were involved in network marketing. The year before they were not, and the year that next year they were. And I was showing them how to save between $4,000 and $7,000 a year. And when I put those statistics together, it just dawned on me. I said, you know what? I'm the only accountant that has a voice, that's willing to share with people how they could truly free up money. And I understood the network marketing industry. And so I shifted my entire accounting practice. And the rest is kind of history from that, because, you know, people don't realize it. You're exactly right. 46% of Americans before this pandemic did not have an extra $400 to their name. And 69% didn't have an extra $1,000 to their name. And the reason why is because the system is broken. So exactly what you said is that, you know, you're taught to go to school, get good grades, and go get a good job. And what does that do for you? Like, where is there a good job? There's not. You know what I'm saying? Even coming to work for me, like, the whole goal of people working for me is like, I want to hire people so that I can work less and they can work more. And then I can pay them I don't want to pay them the least amount possible. But I mean, in essence, that's kind of what you do as a business owner. Yeah.
No, I mean, I agree with all of that. And it's crazy when you mention that all of those people, I forget what you just said it was, but less than $400 or whatever, like
46%.
46%. That's scary, right? Yeah. But that's also reality. And so I think that's something that the network marketing profession really speaks to, is that group of people who, like I said, just want to make a couple extra $100. And I think too many network marketers these days try to talk to the people about making the millions or whatever. And I'm like, that's not where most people are. And then you mentioned about saving people $4,000 to $7,000. We have a lot of people on our team who use you. And one of our teammates, she was at my house the other day. She's like, she saved me $17,000. I'm like, oh yeah, sister. Okay. So you clearly know what you're talking about. So that's always exciting when you hear real people with real results. And so I think that's
yes. Well, and that's one.
People just don't know.
They don't. And that's the one thing. It was actually that one person. I know exactly what you're talking about. She left off a vehicle. Her prior accountant left a vehicle off, and she works her business full time. And we were able to write off that vehicle. And because it was over 6,000 pounds, we were able to take 100% deduction off that vehicle the year that she bought it. And nobody caught it. Like, she just wrote off mileage, which the mileage was only, like $3,000 or $4,000 in deductions. And I think we ended up being able to write off $70,000 in deductions, which in turn saved her $18,000.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and so you did everything the right way. So tell me the other benefits of network marketing. Cause I know you just like came from all over the country. You were like everywhere. And it's so funny, like the whole entire country, the whole entire world is kind of shut down. And then Jessie Lee's going to Italy. She's going all over the world. And I'm like, how is she doing this? So share that, just kind of your experience, what you love about the network marketing industry.
So I am a impact and legacy driven leader. I'm not money driven, although I make absurd amounts of money. Thank God for this profession. Because I think about the legacy of my children and grandchildren. It excites me. But, so in my tour before this last one that I'll tell you about was December. So all of December and all of January, all of December, I did the United States tour. So that was 28 days in December, I believe it was. Christmas was off, but I wasn't home. I was in Kentucky, actually at corporate office at our headquarters. So I toured all over America, all of December. I don't even remember how many cities now. It's crazy. And I mean, everything, hotels, travel, food, gifts, like dinners with team, gifts, whatever, the whole nine. And then most of that I drove in the wrapped Range Rover. So I have the Range Rover that's wrapped with all the Boss Lady hats, the coolest wrap ever. It's rose gold. My cars are so cool. But anyway, and then I got on a plane for some of the West Coast stuff. So I took all these flights, multiple flights, West Coast, and then flew back to Texas. One day home in Texas, flew direct to Zurich. And then I did Switzerland. So this is January then. I did every single day in January. I did Switzerland. I did Germany. I did France. I did the UK. I did Norway. I did, where did I go? I feel like I'm missing Italy in January. And I feel like I'm missing another country. It's crazy. And then, quarantine started and we've been exploding. I mean, business is nuts, network marketing profession's crazy. And I said, I'm going. And Fraser Brooks and I are really good friends. And, he lives over in Europe. I said, I'm getting on a flight. He's like, you're doing what? I said, I'm getting on a flight. I will be the one. I will be the network marketer who wears the mask, who does whatever. I will follow the customs of the countries, whatever you need to do. I'm going to Europe. And I spent 40 days. So I landed. So we launched Europe officially on June 1st. I landed June 2nd. I was in Italy and Spain for 40 days. And I never wanted to come back, but I came back. And same thing. It's crazy because I only fly business class when I do international, not because I'm bougie, but because I have to go straight into a meeting, which means I need a bed to sleep on. It's just logistically impossible to not do this. And so, and then, same thing. We rented Italian villas, tons of food the Italians can eat. The whole night. I went to Louis Vuitton. I bought over $20,000 in gifts at Louis Vuitton. I mean, I say all of this because some of you think I'm just talking about the trip. Courtney knows where I'm going with this.
Yes.
Everything's a tax write-off.
Yes. Yes. And it's amazing. And that's the thing. It's like you get to have fun. You get to hang out with people that you want to hang out with. And, at the end of the day, and guys, I'll tell you, I'm not in network marketing. So when I want to go hang around, one, it's either the great thing about being an accountant for the network marketing industry is I get to hang out with everybody. So I get invited at least to what's going on most of the time. But the other option is that in order for me to get the personal growth and development that I need and the continuing education, I've got to spend $85,000 a year to be a platinum partner with Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
And Jessie Lee will give that to you, for free, and that's happening in the entire network marketing industry because you have the leaders who are willing to help you get to where you want to go because they know that one, they can help you condense time, but two, they're going to benefit off of you.
But even that, like, I love what you just said because it's the same thing. I wouldn't have the value to give to people if I wouldn't even know you. We've spent how much money on events? People go, oh, that retreat is $5,000, $10,000. I cannot possibly, and like maybe you're not at the level where you can spend 10 grand. I get that. But it's like, my God, the amount of money that I've spent on everything from books to I was a Tony Robbins elite student. I didn't do his platinum program, but same thing. I think it was like 17 grand or something. Eric Worre, the amount of money I've spent on that man. That's a couple $100,000 for sure. Yes. The amount of money I've spent on Grant Cardone, you mentioned. The amount I bought a VIP ticket. I think that was 25 grand. I don't remember what, something crazy. Not to mention the hotels to go, not to mention the, what else have I gone to? I do VIP at every event. I mean, I've met you at so many of these big events and it's like, I have to go to feed my brain, but I also know that when I'm there, I'm swiping the card for the whatever. It's like, okay, not only will it pay off in the education and what you can pour into other people, but I'm writing it off on my taxes. Events are a non-negotiable. And if people would understand that not only you're going to get paid in the knowledge, but you're literally getting your money back in your taxes. I mean, nobody would ever have an excuse why they couldn't go to an event.
Yes. And, it's funny. I'll tell you a story. I had a financial advisor come to me and he sat down and he's like, Courtney, what you need to do is invest in appreciable assets this year. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. What I need to do is invest in Tony Robbins and pay my $85,000 to be a platinum partner and the $40,000 that it takes in travel, right, to do that. And then what's going to happen is that's going to save me $65,000 in taxes. I'm going to get the mindset that I need to grow. And then on top of that, now I have the $65,000 that I could actually utilize. Otherwise, I'm going to have to spend all my money that I wanted to use in buying appreciable assets and give that to the IRS. And so, you're literally getting paid to learn. And that's the idea of Congress. If you guys think people say all the time, like, these are loopholes. No, they're not. It's straight tax code, like legally, morally, and ethically. The reason why this is all put into place, and you'll understand it in just a second, if you don't already, guys, is that there are two tax systems in our country. There is the tax system that was created to steal wealth away, and that is the W-2 employee tax system. And then there is the tax code that was created to provide wealth, which is the business owner tax system. That tax system we're creating economy. So I'm out selling every day, teaching tax strategy, selling every single day, right? Helping people. Jessie Lee's doing the same thing. And the company
staff.
Exactly.
I literally hired 4 new employees during quarantine. I expanded. Like the government loves me because I'm giving. I literally have. God, I don't even know. I need to count my payroll. I got a big old payroll. I got a lot of people on staff, and so of course the government gives you tax write-offs.
Yes.
You're literally you're fueling our entire economy. I don't think people understand that. Exactly. I've got people in my house right now, literally working as I'm on here.
Well, and that's the thing, right? You're adding massive value to the economy and to the government by creating more jobs. And then in turn, someone has to pay the taxes. So it trickles down to the W-2 employee. And whether you like it or not, that's the way that system works. And if you want to change it, the only thing that you need to do is find some sort of home-based business that you're passionate about, that you can open your mouth about and tell people about. Now, don't just get started. Like, don't just sign up and say, here I am. Now I bought my kit and I get tax advantages. Yeah. Actually attempt to share that information with people, and you can completely not only change your life, but you can change other people's lives at the same time.
Yeah, I agree.
I love it. So tell me, and and it's funny because you actually made it home from Italy, and I thought everyone like died there.
It's funny because I thought when I landed, like, that it was going to be like, super strict, super whatever. No, it was the most amazing thing ever. I landed in Rome, and I don't know, I'm sure, Fountain de Trevi, everyone knows. And I've been there before. 6 years ago I went, and it was a zoo. I go there and it was empty.
Wow.
Really cool. So I have like the coolest photos ever at Fountain de Trevi. Rome was completely empty. But then as I was there, as weeks went on, we had the villas packed with people. I was like, oh, we're not scared? Okay, cool. I didn't know if we're supposed to be scared or not. Like, I don't know. I'm all about the immune system, so I'm not concerned. But, and I told people, like, if you feel sick, stay home. If you have an autoimmune disease, please stay home. If you have children like that you're scared about, please stay home. And so, like, but everyone was just, they're clubbing in Italy already. Like, it's a lie. I'm just telling you, the media's lying to you. The Italians are out and getting frisky. All right. They are not socially distancing. Whatever they told you is a lie. Spaniards are not social distancing. They are in cahoots. Okay. They're wild people over there. But no, getting back at the airport at customs, one of the customs agents was like, how did you even get into the country? I said, I had a letter. She's like, okay, you're here on official business? I said, yes, official business.
Okay. I love it. Well, and that's the thing. It's like there's so many people that are so scared of what's going on right now. And, one of the things, Jesse, and I think this is so beneficial for people, is that they understand, like, even if, and I think at this point, 40% of every person that made less than $40,000 a year has lost their job. And, but that could be the greatest benefit that they ever possibly have, because now you have time to actually think about your future and start building a home-based business that could potentially save you, we're talking about $4,000 to $7,000 a year in tax savings, but then also provide you with more income.
Well, if you just want me to be honest, like, I wouldn't be Jessie Lee if it weren't for getting fired.
Yes.
So it's interesting because I think some people need to see the blessings that are in disguise. Yeah. I was working in the pathology lab, and I started my at-home business to make that $300. And in my first month, I made over $300. The next month, I'm making like over $1,000. I'm like, holy moly, this could actually be something, And then I got fired for having a bad work ethic, which I think is the great irony of anybody who knows me now. But anyway, so I got fired, and it propelled me into this upward trajectory of, I have to make money, and I don't know where I'm going to get a job, because that was 2011. And so I don't know that there was like an economic crisis per se, but it's always hard to find jobs when you're fresh out of college and then you're fired. And so who's going to be your reference from the last 8 months? Blah, blah, blah. So it threw me into a trajectory of entrepreneurship, for which obviously I'm forever grateful for. So, those of you who just lost your jobs, I know it sucks. I know it feels like the end of the world. I just want to be the one to tell you it's not. I'm a believer. I think you are too. But I think God only takes things out of your life to put better things in, first of all. And second of all, life is absolutely happening for you, not to you. And so whatever's going on in your world, I feel like people are aligned for a reason. You're watching this video for a reason. Something about this is speaking to you for a reason. I would encourage you to listen to that.
Yes, I love it. And yeah, and you're so right. Like, I can't even imagine Jessie Lee actually working for anyone. There's just no way. Like,
I am a bad employee. Like, I should have been fired. I'm not even playing with y'all. Like, I was doing the bare minimum, because I was like, I am worth more than $35,000 a year. Get me out of here.
Well, I just had that conversation with my staff today. I told them I had to go do an interview, and so I'll leave. I work outside with my staff. I've got 25 employees here, and I'll come into my office because I hate being by myself. So I just like hanging out with them. And so the only time I come to my office, because it's set up like a studio, is to do an interview. And I'm like, I'm going to do an interview. And so they were picking with me. They're like, when I came out, they're like, how did the interview go? And I'm like, yeah, I know. Did you get the job? And I'm like, I am unemployable. Like, y'all don't understand. There is no way on earth. Like, it's been 19 years. If somebody actually told me what to do, like, I don't know what I would do. Like, I don't even like my husband telling me what to do.
Sister, no, I do not need a man telling me what to do neither. Mm-mm.
So tell me, so you got a dog.
I have two. Mm-hmm.
Got two dogs. What kind of dogs?
Perfect and perfect. Wookie Lee is right here. She is a pit bull. She's sleeping. She's got something. What's on her belly? She's got dirt on her belly or something. And then Kumba is a Shar-Pei mix. So he's on there. They never leave mother. They are literally right here. So.
And tell me, so, and I know how, and this is something I know a lot of people want to know, and one of the things I think people take for granted or they fail to realize is that it takes time to build up in network marketing, and some of the skills that you learn before you ever make it into the network marketing space propel you into being a much faster grower, but the skills are always there. So if you could like share with the audience just anything that would help them understand, like maybe this is not fast, but this is definitely worth it along the way because you're so great at that.
Thank you. I just did a live about comparison. That's the live I was like, I just went live 20 minutes ago. Because so many people are just comparing everybody else's journey to theirs and thinking that you're the same person. You're not the same person. And I say a lot of the time, it's like, if you want my life, then you have to also want my trauma. Because the reason that anybody is successful is because they have overcome to become. And so you have to take the ugly with the good if you want to play that kind of game first and foremost. Second of all, I love what you said. That's just transferable skills. So those of you who maybe you're the oldest child, right? And so you had to be the leader in the household. That would be a transferable skill. Maybe so I wasn't the oldest child, I was the third child, but I will tell you that I was the leader in the household because I had a family that was full of domestic violence, and my older brother couldn't handle it. My older sister couldn't handle it. My little brother certainly couldn't handle it. And I said, all right, I'm the leader. So at a very young age, it put me into a leadership position. So that's my leadership story, right? Now, really crappy leader as a child, but and still working on it every day, but that's a transferable skill. Those you have worked since you're young. When did you start working? You can put it in the comments. My first job, I was 13 years old, right? 13 years old, and thought I wasn't getting paid enough because $5 an hour wasn't cutting it. So I put on a tip jar. Like, I want you to just think about all these little things along the way in your path that turn you into who you are. And then just don't compare, because you will get there. You're just not on that chapter. You're not on that chapter yet. We're on a different chapter. Like, and people look at me and they're like, oh my God, I want to be like Jessie Lee. I want to be like whatever it is. I'm like, I understand that. But the fact of the matter is this is year over 9. And I've never played with this. This is 9 years of like,
right,
balls to the wall, as people would say, all day, every day. I'm hungry. I'm starving. I'm emaciated for success. The way I work, and I know you know this, and I know anybody who follows me knows this, but I work like I'm poor still. Like, my work, that's a transferable skill. Poverty is a transferable skill as far as I'm concerned, because it instilled a hunger inside of me that I never want to go back there. Right. And so I look at all of this stuff. I work every day. My schedule's every single half hour. I don't play with this. And it's been like that for 9 years. So before you get hard on, down on yourself and you're hard on yourself or whatever, understand not only that, but the other thing I want to say about that is you need to understand that, oh, shoot, I had something really good to say and I read a comment. Shoot, why did I read a comment? Good God. I knew that was going to happen. Dang it. Oh, man, I had a good one. It'll come back to me, I'm sure. But I was like, what does $99 cover or pay for? What's he saying? And then I lost it. But whatever. I just think there's a lot of comparison going on, and it's unhealthy because it's not your journey. It's everybody. You are on your own journey. You're on your own path. And what looks beautiful to you is beautiful. Too many people are trying to compare themselves to you or to me or to the other, network marketing greats. Well, since when is $50 a month not something to be proud of? Because when I started, last time I checked, that was 2 tanks of gas.
Yes.
And I needed 2 tanks of gas. Yes. So for you to compare yourself, for you to quit, for you to get down on yourself, for you to, say, oh, I'm nothing, I'm worthless, I'm whatever. That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't understand that. So I don't know. I just wish more people would just understand that we're all on a journey. We're all on a path. We're all, I know what I was going to say. I think sometimes you look at really great people in the profession, yourself included. I know you're not in my profession, but tax, your tax preparation business. And I think people go, oh my gosh, like they have everything together.
Yes.
Like I could not do that because I can't. We are fumbling through life. Like I'll be the one who calls it like reality, because a lot of people are like, oh, I have it all together. Like people are like, look at her perfect backdrop. Oh my, I have 16 videos to record after this. That's why the backdrop's here. Usually it's crazy looking. Okay. Like, oh, she has all that perfect makeup, 16 videos. Okay. This isn't normal. Literally, we fumbled through everything. I remember being backstage with GoPro, like ready to barf all over the place. Like I'm gonna literally vomit. Like I can't do it. Like I'm like, okay, and I don't know if you watched the video. Like I literally now if people are gonna watch it, they're gonna see.
I was
my
there.
shoe literally slipped off my foot, and I had to I'm like, dang it! Like, oh God! Like, I thought I was so prepared. Like the first time I'm on stage at GoPro, literally, like my shoe practically falls off, and I'm a shoe girl, so I was mortified. My point being, like, Courtney didn't know all the tax stuff.
Yes,
she went through it and she figured it out. I didn't know how to run a multi-million-dollar monthly business. I stumbled through it, right? I didn't know how to be a good leader until I stumbled through it and screwed up along the way. I didn't know how to be a recruiter. I just said a bunch of crappy scripts all the time before they became good scripts. And I figured it out, And I wish more people just knew that and would take messy action in their life and in their business, because some of you are on here right now. I know this for a fact, and your taxes are a disaster. And instead of reaching out to Courtney or somebody who knows what the heck they're doing, you're going to sit there and bully yourself and make yourself feel so insecure and so toxically negative, and so, oh my God, I'm a loser, instead of just sending her a message. Like, how hard is this, But that's what we do as humans, is we go, oh, my life is so messed up. She would not be able to relate. Like if I told her what my tax situation was like, she would never possibly see anything as bad as what I've done. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, right. She's probably seen people who are going to get audited 94 times before they pass away, So, and I just say that so you understand, even that is you comparing yourself and thinking that everything you do is, a disaster. It's not true. We're all doing messy action. Even the people you idolize are taking messy action. I promise you, we might look like we have it all together. I'm a disaster. Courtney's a disaster. All these 7-figure earners were all a disaster. Like, you don't even know. We are disasters. No one has it together. Your friends are lying. The Instagram, lying. Okay. People on Facebook, they're liars. Okay. Those people, their taxes, they're going to go to jail. Okay. Don't follow the, I'm just telling you, I want to be the one to tell you, people make things seem a certain type of way. Maybe not. Maybe not. Like, did you know that 50 Cent went bankrupt before he went bankrupt? No, you thought he had it together. Like, I'm just telling you, sometimes what seems to be reality ain't reality, brothers and sisters. That's all I'm trying to say.
You are hilarious. And you're right. Like, the most I've ever actually done as far as tax returns has been 10 years that someone has not filed their tax returns. And the most that I've had a client that actually owes money, it was $1.3 million that he owed to the IRS. And that was for 2 years. And so you can't, people call me all the time. Like, I do tax strategy. When I'm not doing interviews, I'm doing tax strategy sessions. And so people are like, oh my God, like, this is such a mess. And I'm like, you have no clue. Like, you have no understanding of what a mess actually looks like. Like, you're good. We can fix you. And that's what's so sad, is that people are scared. They're scared to ask for help. And the reason why is they're scared to death to look bad. Yep. And guys, 10 years ago, I lost my business. I put up my business for sale. The guy sold, I was 30 years old. I had 3 children at the time. And, I ended up meeting the love of my life that I've known since I was 10. And I ended up adopting his 2 children, and we had another baby. So a year later, I had 6 children that we had to provide for. I had a 5-year non-compete in the entire state of South Carolina. and the guy I sold my business to after 4 months stopped paying me. I was $250,000 in debt. I actually filed bankruptcy and had to voluntarily withdraw my bankruptcy because I didn't know it was a thing, but you could actually not afford to file bankruptcy in this country. Did you know that?
No.
I didn't know that either until they told me. They're like, you don't make enough money to file and pay the debt that you're supposed to pay. So you're going to have to withdraw this. And so, yes, that's the reason why I think people like me and Jessie Lee are here. Like, we know that people have made stupid decisions. We know that people have lived in poverty, and it's our mission to help other people change their life and do it in a condensed fashion so that you don't have to take the same road that I did. You don't have to screw up like I did. And at the end of the day, I've had the IRS walk up and collect $47,000 from me in a day, like levy it. And that was not a fun decision. I signed a piece of paper I didn't know I signed, and I didn't read it, and the IRS took some money from me. And so I'm trying to stop people from going down that path. And what I found, and this is the great part, is that the network marketing industry it's just a better way. Like, I'm not saying it's easy.
Yep.
What I'm saying it is a better way. It's a way for you to be able to work from home, be able to have a good time, be able to hang out with the right people, be able to get the personal growth and development and the mindset that you need in order to grow a business. And it doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter what race you are. None of that matters. No education level. And people are willing to help you get to where they've gotten because they financially benefit from you. And along the way, you get access to massive, massive tax deductions, period. Like, there's no downside in the network marketing industry other than you may have some broke person that says, this is not for you. Like, you're stupid for being in it. And what they don't understand is they don't understand those two tax systems.
They don't understand anything, quite frankly. Like, that is one of my biggest pet peeves is people who take financial advice from people whose bank accounts they would not trade for.
Yes.
I'm like, you're taking tax advice you're taking money advice, you're taking business advice from somebody who's literally built nothing. That's like those idiots who buy courses from people who never recruited a single person. I'm like, what? What? You're doing what? No. Like, I wouldn't take financial advice from somebody who that doesn't like mesmerize me financially. Like, if you can't make me go, you're worth what? You have how much in real estate holdings? I'm sorry. Wait, exactly. What? I'm sorry. Did you just say you make $1.4 million a month? Okay, hold on. I'm listening. You tell me you're making $1.4 thousand a month. I'm supposed to take advice from you? That's what some of y'all are doing. You playing out there. I swear on it. You're talking to people who don't even know nothing about nothing. And I'm like, what are you doing? That makes no dang on sense to me. But people do that. A lot of people take advice from their broke Aunt Betty. And I mean, there's a reason broke Betty's broke. Okay? There's a reason. It's because she's broke. She don't know what I'm talking about. Don't know what I'm talking about.
And the great thing is that I would never have understood the network marketing industry had I not lost that business, because my parents ended up getting me involved in a company I couldn't even afford to sign up in, and they paid for me to join. And I put about 900 people in that company, and I fell in love with the aspect of freeing up money for people through tax savings and being able to help them make money. Like, it just made total sense to me. And then what ended up happening is that throughout time, I was actually building my accounting practice back up. And you know what's crazy? 6 years ago, I made $9,000 the whole entire year with accounting. And we're on pace this year to do $2.3 million. Jeez. And never put a dollar in advertising or marketing. It was just clearly working and building up my accounting practice over again from scratch with people who needed me more than anybody else in the world, and just sharing with them how to free up money for themselves. And it's just crazy that you think, like, I'm sure, Jessie Lee, like, you wake up some days and like, I really get paid for this. Like, I get paid to do this every single day.
Oh, it's constant. I'm like, God, I'm blessed. It's nuts. It's crazy. I feel like the most blessed woman on earth.
I love it. So, I know that we've taken a lot of your time, and I so appreciate you being on here. You are the funniest person.
Oh, thank you. I feel like I'm half comedian sometimes, but
you are hilarious. And it's so great because people will listen. Like that's why when you make things easy, when you make things, people feel like they can do it. You don't like sugarcoat everything, and you're real and you're raw. People really feel like, hey, you know what? I might can do this as well. And that's what we want for everybody. So just last thoughts, what you want to share with everybody. And I so appreciate you being on here on what's your plan B and why you'd be brain dead not own a home-based business.
Yeah, I guess like my final thought on it, I suppose, would just be, it doesn't matter if you're trying to make a lot of money or a little bit of money. The amount of tax deductions you get in this kind of business, it just makes good sense. It just makes good sense to be able to travel the world. Like, okay, example, really quickly, because I'm obsessed with Hawaii. I'm Hawaiian. Every time I go there, I get to write it off and take a vacation because I have a huge team there.
Yes.
Like, so many of you want a life that looks different than the life you have right now. You have to understand it's not about building a business that makes you millions of dollars a year like we have. It's about taking the right steps in the right direction. And it starts with doing it messy action. It starts with doing it by saying, I have no idea what I'm doing. I need help. It starts by taking those little steps every single day, one step at a time towards better. And it starts with making that decision. It starts with saying, okay, a home-based business probably is a good idea, even if I'm only making a couple $100s a month, even if I am maybe only making $20 a month, but you have all the deductions. Like, there's so much more to it than what the surface level is. And I think the more that we start to educate the world on that and understand that what you have been taught about finances is probably very wrong. I coach this a lot. Like, on my wall, I talk about finances a lot. What you think is the right thing to do. There is a reason the middle class is shrinking and the lower middle class is growing and people are getting more broke, and the top 1% is just becoming the 1%. That's it. It's not even 3% anymore. It's because the people up at the top, there are things that we know. There are differences. And when people try to show you them and tell you them, you need to listen to those people instead of those people that are in that lower middle class that are trying to keep you there. That's all I just kind of want to say about that. Finances, I could talk all day, but I would take advice from people who you would trade bank accounts with, that you would want to learn information from. And I would just educate yourself. And I think that, like you said, it's not perfect, but it's definitely a better way. I'm obsessed with network marketing. Changed my life.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, JC Lee. I appreciate you and for everything that you're doing for the network marketing industry. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye, guys.